Do you know the key drivers of success for digital transformation? It's a critical question for many companies. We have been working in digital design, UX, and CX strategy for more than 20 years, supporting our clients with their innovation efforts, and we ask ourselves this question many times. Technology, of course, is important, but it's only been in the past few years that it became crystal clear to us what is really critical in digital transformation. And there are two key drivers we have found that determine whether a digital transformation succeeds or fails that we would like to share with you today. Good morning. I'm Tony Thijssen. I'm the Chief Design Officer of Select, a premium design agency for financial services. I'm originally from the Netherlands, but live already for more than 15 years in New York City. Call it now my home, although I still use my bike, even now, going through the snow. and that is also where our office is, in New York City.
And I'm David Thibodeau, Director of Strategy and CX for Select. I happen to live in Portland, Maine, but I've been consulting for financial services companies for nearly 20 years.
We are part of Select, and our teams have been behind numerous digital programs for many well-known financial companies, including those presented here. And looking at that list, I have to think of my first digital transformation project. It was about 15 years ago at JP Morgan, and we were designing a new digital trading platform. Our objective as designers was to create a user-friendly experience that would empower internal traders. Back then, we were still using the waterfall approach. Oh yes, the process was quite slow. We didn't do any testing and then iterate to make it better because that just wasn't that mindset. Many companies weren't using agile or design thinking. Things have definitely improved since then, and over the years, through working with our clients, we have learned how we can make bigger steps forward to truly transform. But let's look at what the state of digital transformation in financial services today, and then focus on what we have found is key to be successful in your efforts.
Before 2020, a lot of financial companies had started the road to digital transformation, but few were all in or truly transformed. There was a lot of talk, but not enough commitment. Then, almost overnight, everything changed. The coronavirus stopped the world in its tracks, affecting millions worldwide. For many, and especially financial services, this has meant an increased urgency to be completely digital. Everything that could be online had to be online, and companies had to be completely digital ready. This pandemic has accelerated the need and demand for digital transformation, and we've seen this firsthand with our clients, all of whom have seen significant increases in the use of financial apps. We've also seen increases in requests to revisit and completely redesign entire online banking experiences. And while many new digital initiatives have started to address these changing environments, there's still much work to be done. And the role of UX and UI in creating well-designed, customer-centric experiences that really improve people's lives and build long-lasting brand relationships is more foundational than ever. More and more customers are interacting with their finances digitally, depositing checks by mobile apps, making payments through digital services. But even though digital interactions have increased, only 17% of customers are really happy with their digital banking experiences. Why is that? Because even though financial companies have realized that digital experiences are below expectations and need to be improved, only 28% of all digital initiatives are actually focused on improving the customer experience. This is a significant disconnect.
So why the gap? Why aren't best-in-class experiences the norm when customers interact with their financial services? Some surveys have been done about the top challenges financial firms face in their digital transformation. Let's look at the most pressing challenge that came up. The number one challenge is talent. There's a growing demand for all-rounded talent, people with design, data, and technology skills who truly understand the business, are hands-on, and have many years of experience. But financial companies are struggling with a shortage of talent that can support and move forward their innovation efforts. And that's something we clearly hear from our clients. Sometimes progress stalls because the company doesn't have the right internal resources to work on these projects, which clearly hurts the business effort to improve customer experiences. I'm in this industry for 2 decades, and David as well. And what we have noticed over all these years is that it's often a small group of talented people within an organization that drive the results. This is what McKinsey & Company also found in their research. That's the 2% top talent who make outsized contributions. If as a company you nurture that design talent and create a sincere design culture that values good design, that invests in user-centric design, implement customer feedback, you will outperform other companies who don't take that same approach by as much as 2 to 1. And it's this insight about the 2% top talent that made us decide to start our company, Select. Talking to our clients, we often hear that they don't have the right talent in place, and it's a struggle for them to expand or change course because of this reason. We clearly see there's a need for this 2% top talent. But what is it about this top 2% that makes them so critical to digital transformation? You need people on your team that can pinpoint where the customer experience fails, that can identify pain points and encourage innovative solutions. People that are problem finders as well as problem solvers. They have the expertise to see where products go wrong, where you have to course correct, and when you need to go back to the drawing board again. It's a kind of talent that can inspire digital disruption, but at the same time deliver high quality work. Additionally, you need talent that can collaborate well, that can make the complex simple and know how to break down complex problems into smaller pieces, run design sprints to address them, ideate, prototype, test, and repeat, and do this efficiently together with team members from different disciplines.
Design thinking is a core methodology we use in our digital, product, and CX projects. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Top talent lives and breathes design thinking and combines analytical and intuitive thinking to solve problems in new and innovative ways. But the main benefit of design thinking is that it's critical in really understanding who we are designing for in order to create those meaningful customer-centric experiences. Design thinking has clear steps: empathize, see and understand from the user's perspective, define the problem, ideate, prototype, test. Then, based on the feedback, iterate, ideate, revise, and test again until customers are surprised and delighted with user-centric experiences. Iteration is essential in design thinking, and this requires flexibility and scalability. This is what we have found with so many client projects, that flexibility is an incredibly important ingredient, and being able to adapt quickly will have a clear impact on your outcome. Combining top 2% talent with flexibility drives digital transformation results. Without both, without that top 2% talent and the flexibility to empower them, we've seen digital transformation initiatives stall, diverge, and fail to meet their target KPIs.
And this is where a lot of financial companies run into a problem. If you look at their current team models, they report the same pain points. There's a lack of flexibility to scale up and down. There's a lack of expertise and customization. There's a lack of remote readiness. There's a lack of ability to collaborate with speed when, for instance, the customer environment suddenly changes, like now, because of COVID. The environment we live and work in is unpredictable. You have to be able to adapt quickly. We found that current models don't work. We need a new way to approach this. We're all familiar with software as a service. What we need is a new model for flexible top talent teams as a service. Introducing the hybrid team model. Our experiences working with clients in digital transformation showed us that what companies really need is flexible support by hyper-experienced teams that can address and lead through hurdles quickly, flexibly, and effectively. It's this important insight that inspired us to start our business. We are often called in by companies to be the digital A team, like when projects have reached MVP, but business owners realize through user testing that their value proposition is lacking. We then come in and help them pivot, which could mean anything from redefining their value prop to completely redesigning the experience based on the outcomes of a design sprint. It's like you're building a plane while flying it at 1,000 miles an hour. But you can only do that if you have the right folks with the right expertise at that critical moment in time. That's why we are so confident about this flexible hybrid team model, because we know it works. It's foundation of what we do and how we have been servicing our clients. It drives results.
This model enables you to divide complex digital transformation challenges into smaller pieces that can then be tackled more effectively with top talent and flexible teams. Let's look at how this works. You might be working on journey mapping, prototype development, design sprints or workshops, or building product roadmaps, or maybe even several of these at the same time. Each project is going to have its own timeline, own KPIs, and own unique needs. What we often see with these initiatives is the need to quickly pivot or scale up because of new insights, new developments, or new market events. Here's an example. We were recently engaged by a financial services firm to develop an end-to-end customer journey, and immediately realized that they had not prioritized their customer segmentations consistently across their entire enterprise. This meant that we had to quickly pivot and then define, design, develop, and deploy an entire enterprise persona framework across their entire organization before we could even start building that end-to-end customer journey. Now, this is the kind of thing that you can only do well if you're starting with a flexible hybrid team model in place, one that can adapt quickly and immediately bring in the additional experienced resources that you need as soon as they are needed.
Here are some other scenarios. Like, for instance, you just need one experienced team member for user research for 3 weeks because of new analytics, and you would like to get a better understanding what the data is saying. Sometimes you need 2 experienced facilitators jumping from one design sprint to another. Good facilitators are hard to find, and the ones you have in-house often might be tied up on other projects. Sometimes you need a select team to lead an initiative, like starting a new holistic end-to-end journey that affects the whole company. Or sometimes you quickly need to scale up all of your active projects with UX strategists because of a sudden impactful change in your industry that affects your customers and naturally your business or your business model. Think of Dodd-Frank, the federal law that was enacted about a decade ago and affected almost every part of the financial services industry. Or, of course, the impact now with COVID-19. So to summarize, in this dramatically changing world and looking at the problems companies are facing, we see these 2 key drivers. It's a top 2% talent plus flexible teams as a service model. In our experience and based on research, these are the key drivers and differentiators if you will have success or will fail in your digital transformation. We see that this model is highly effective. Let us know if we can help you addressing the hurdles you are facing. Send an email to Mr. T, that's me, Tony at select.agency with any questions or feedback, or if you would like to share your experiences related to our talk. But do reach out. And to find out more about our approach, don't forget to check out our website, select.agency. Looking forward to hearing from you at the Q&A or any time after that.
Let's dive right into some questions now. Is this new model where you have flexible teams with 2% top talent only relevant for a product development department, or can it be used in other departments within the organization, for example, marketing?
Right. Well, our approach is beneficial for both departments within an organization. If significant change is needed and a digital transformation also includes a reinvention of the business or part of the business, it almost always means that it will affect product development and marketing. I have to think of an example of, for instance, like a fintech company that we helped. where we helped them to change the positioning of their core financial products, created a new identity to market these products better, created a revised product strategy, but also worked on a select set of new features that needed to be designed to their, for their existing products based off a changing market. So you have, different work streams going on at the same time that are part of a new product strategy, as well as a new marketing strategy. And many companies actually struggle to do that well. And that's where, we come in with our flexible team model of top talent that have proven expertise, can integrate well with internal teams and then hit the ground running from day one.
Yeah, nice. And then are there any other examples of how large companies can work with flexible teams that are not already part of their organization?
Yes. So I think if you're looking for specific examples of maybe, how we've worked with companies in the past. So I mean, we've done that from, scaled in many different ways, everything from just having kind of ongoing advisory services to all the way to having, entire teams come in and essentially
the key drivers
over.
of success.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, take over an entire. So so more specifically, for example, just this past week, actually, I've been doing a design sprint for a very large consulting company. And one of the things that that's come up is that they were actually wanting to work with an entire external partner. So this project actually involved managing an entire external relationship along with our client for this design session, and everything from making sure that the legal arrangements between the two bodies were in line, in terms of who would own the IP that would actually come out of the design sprint and design session, all the way to planning and managing the session itself.
Nice. And then a lot of the presentation was obviously referring to the kind of financial services and financial organizations. Is the flexible hybrid team model with top talent only applicable for large financial institutions, or can it be, more widespread?
I would say no. The flexible hybrid team model with top talent is applicable for all fintech companies, startups, and even other industries. As Select, our focus is financial services, although we also support companies from other industries. But these key drivers of digital transformation, the top 2% talent and a flexible team model, are applicable for any industry, for any organization, any company that really truly wants to accelerate their digital transformation, wants to ensure that efforts are effective and have the ability to address business needs while at the same time, creating compelling customer experiences. And they don't have to be large companies either. Currently, for example, we are supporting a startup, a cryptocurrency company, who have the foundation of their products in place, who have developed a robust roadmap. But we created a flexible team just to focus on the UI, UX of one specific product that would work alongside their internal team to make sure, that they can enhance the product experience to make a deadline that we're facing. So yes, this works for large company as well as smaller companies.
Nice. Well, that's all we've got time for there, gents. Are there any last thoughts before we move on and say goodbye?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, your next step, should be, transform to a flexible team model and ensure you have the right, top talent as part of your flexible teams. So, we would say, make it happen. We are obsessed about it. We see the results of it. And we would love to hear from you, your stories, your experiences, and the problems you face. So we are here to help in any kind of fashion and would love to support you. Feel free to reach out with any feedback. Send me an email, tony@select.agency. And you can, of course, go to our website to find out more about our approach, select with 2 Ks, .agency. So thank you.
Gents, thank you very much, Dave. Yeah. Dave, Tony, thank you for that presentation and for your
time.
Thanks
so much.
On the Q&A. You can see the details up there on the screen to reach out to Tony and, of course, to visit their website. So thank you, Dave and Tony. Really appreciate it. And it's been a pleasure to have you with us.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.